Okay, welcome everyone. Good morning. Happy Wednesday, June the 10th, 2020. I hope that everybody's having a nice morning today for our Vinyasa Flow Level 1 class. So let's just get started. We're actually going to start in our child's pose today. Feet are about hips width distance apart. Knees are about hips width distance apart. Feet are together. Release the head on down and just close the eyes. So finding our way back into our body and our breath right now. And for anybody who's new to practice today, hello, my name is Jason Gorenstein. This is our Vinyasa Flow Level 1 class. So this is our class that we start the day with, and I hope that all of you are having a lovely Wednesday morning as well. So let's begin our practice today. Just begin to close the eyes. Let the breath become long and slow. And just begin to notice both your inhalations and your exhalations. So as we come into child's pose, this is a really nice way to begin our practice. Once again, the knees are about hips width distance apart. The feet are together. The head is releasing down to the mat, and the eyes are closed. So if you have any knee issues, a couple of options that you have is to place a blanket under the knees. Another option that you have is just to keep the head slightly lifted. You could also place a block under the head here. Sometimes the pelvis is lifted as such, and you just want to find your way into a comfortable position. Ideally, the head is touching either the ground or a block or the forearms here. The eyes are closed. The breath is long and slow. So as we begin to take child's pose, this is our first opportunity to begin to explore our bodies. So we can just notice, where our bodies are this morning. And then eventually, and ideally, you're able to take your attention to your breath. Now through yoga, believe it or not, the breath is the pillar of the entire practice. So the breath is often the first instruction that is taught, and it's the instruction that as practitioners and as teachers both, we continue to come back to our breath. The reason is our breath is a continuous awareness, if you will, of where our mind is at and where our body is at in the present moment. And eventually what you can begin to do is extend your arms forward of your chest. So if you're on a block, you may just consider keeping the elbows bent. If the hips are lifted, you may just consider keeping the elbows bent here, just so that you could continue to relax and be here now. And if you've decided to extend your arms all the way forward, then press through the thumb and the forefinger. Let the inner forearms lift up. Let the outer triceps wrap on in. So keeping that action in the chest, begin to inhale, float the chest on up, and find your way into a position parallel to the mat. So you find yourself into tabletop pose here. Spread the fingers wide apart. See that the palms are about shoulders width distance apart, if not wider here. And we're going to begin to move through a few rounds of cat and cow pose together. So as we take cat and cow pose, on the in-breath, we begin to lift the chest up. The crown of the head lifts up, the heart lifts up, and we breathe in. As we exhale, we let the tailbone draw down towards the backs of the knees. We let the belly lift up towards the ceiling, and we let the head release down towards the mat. So as you inhale here, we start with our foundation. We press through the fingers, we press through the palms, we press through the shins, we press through the feet, we look up. As we exhale, we continue to press on down. However, this time we round the spine. So as you press down through those shins, you begin to look down towards the mat and just feel the belly coiling in and up. Inhale, peeling the chest on forward. Once again, spreading those fingers wide apart, lengthening through the heart and the sternum. And as you exhale here, rounding through the spine, releasing the head on down. Good. So if you have any issues with the knees, I'd recommend taking a blanket, placing it underneath the knees here. You're going to press through the fingers once again and inhale, float the right leg on up. So as we float the right leg on up, This is our first opportunity for us to kind of become aware of that strengthening aspect of our practice. So press down through the fingers here. See that that left knee is pressing out, left shin, left foot, and continue to lift the spine up. So you're hugging in the belly here and you're breathing. As you exhale, lower that right knee down. We're going to do the same thing to the left leg. So we're just extending the left leg back. As you extend the left leg back, you'll notice that the left hip is being drawn down towards the earth through the leg. So you want to flex that left foot and continue to breathe here as you lengthen through the center chest. Center chest lengthens through the crown of the head. Wrap the outer triceps in and continue to breathe here. As you exhale, lower that left knee down. All right. So from here, we're going to float or tuck the toes underneath. Lift the kneecaps up. Float the thighs back. Find our way into downward facing dog pose. So as you take downward facing dog pose, walk the feet a little bit wider apart. See that the fingers are lengthening to the front of the mat. See that the heels are lengthening to the back of the room here. Continue to allow the head to release down towards the floor as you breathe. So likewise, like we just did in tabletop pose, you're going to lift the right leg on up. So as you lift the right leg on up, press through the fingers here. See that those forearms are lifting up. See that the chest is moving towards the left thigh. And as you exhale, lower that right foot on down. You're going to do the same thing to the left leg. So inhale, float the left leg up. Press down through the fingers here. Press down through the right ball of the foot. Feel the right thigh drawing back. Feel the left inner thigh lifting up towards the ceiling here. As you continue to release the chest down towards that right thigh this time. Exhale, lower the left foot down. Release the knees back down to the earth. And then find your way back into child's pose again. Release the head on down. So one more time, we're back in child's pose. And believe it or not, child's pose is a pose we can continue to come back to throughout the practice. So wherever our practice is, child's pose we can continue to find throughout our practice. So one more time, inhale, peeling the chest on up. Tucking the toes underneath. Exhale, lifting those thighs back to the back of the room. And find your way back into downward facing dog pose. So again, in downward facing dog pose here, maybe we turn the fingers out slightly so that the thumbs are just slightly turned out. Usually the wrists are parallel with the front of the mat, but sometimes we turn the fingers out just to create a little bit of space in the fingers and the shoulders here. Good. And eventually, you're going to begin to look forward in between the hands and walk the feet forward towards the hands. As you inhale here, peel up the chest and the heart. And as you exhale, hinge at the hips, release the head on down. Good. Now we keep the torso heavy here, so we shift the weight forward. The weight tends to be in the heels. Can you shift the weight towards the toes? And then take the hands to the low back here. Now press through the feet. Feel the thighs drawing back. Begin to lift the chest on up and then release the hands down the sides of the body, finding your way into Tadasana, standing mountain pose. All right. So we're going to begin our practice today. Welcome, my friends. And if you're just joining us, my name is Jason. This is our Vinyasa Flow Level 1 class. So we're going to begin by inhaling, lifting the arms up towards the ceiling. Maybe the palms touch here. As you exhale, hinge at those hips, release the hands down towards the earth. Good. As we inhale, take the hands to the shins, lift the chest, lift the heart, lift the sternum here. And as we exhale, release the chest all the way down towards the mat. Press through the balls of the feet. Inhale, spin the arms up towards the ceiling. Palms face one another, maybe the palms touch. As we exhale here, take the arms out to our sides, Tadasana pose. Again, inhale, float those arms up. So we're coordinating our breath with our movement. As we exhale, we release the hands down. Doesn't matter how fast or slow you go, just that you're with your own breath. Inhale, lengthening halfway here. Good. Keep lengthening through the chest. Keep lengthening through the heart. As you exhale, hinge on down. As you inhale, peel the arms up towards the ceiling. Lengthen through the fingers here. Maybe the palms touch. And as you exhale, release the arms back down to the side. So adding on to this, inhale, floating those arms up. Exhale, hinging at the hips and releasing the hands all the way down to the mat. Inhale, lengthening up halfway. Good. So as you exhale this time, you're going to walk your feet back on the mat and find your way into downward facing dog pose. So downward facing dog pose here. The fingers are turned out slightly. The head is released down towards the mat here. You're breathing. Nice. From here, just continue to feel a bend in those knees and allow the thigh bones to move back any amount more towards the back of the room. So even though the knees are bent, we're still driving the energy back into those legs. Maybe you can begin to feel the shin bones drawing towards the calves. Maybe you can feel the kneecaps lifting up towards the top of the hips. And as you continue to breathe here, feel those heels lengthening back to the back of the mat. Okay, now we can walk the hands on forward. And again, inhale, lengthening the chest halfway. As we exhale, forward fold here. As we inhale, sweep the arms up towards the ceiling, palms face one another. Maybe the fingers touch. As we exhale, release the arms all the way out to the sides. Good. Inhale, floating those arms up, Urdhva Hastasana pose. As we exhale, releasing the hands all the way down to the mat. Inhale, peeling up the chest halfway. Take the hands down to the mat, walk the feet back, downward facing dog pose. Good, downward facing dog pose again. This time we shift forward into the top of a push-up. We lower the knees down to the mat. We're here for a moment. So notice the fingers are forward of the shoulders here. We're going to bend the elbows, and if you can, bend the elbows in towards the chest, not away from the chest, in towards the chest as you release the chest all the way down towards the mat. Now walk the hands back because ideally you want to see that the palms are right underneath the elbows. And as you press down through the tops of the fingers, hug the elbows in so that the collarbones spread wide apart. Feel the chest beginning to lift up. And as the chest lifts up, hug the belly in. The belly hugs in to protect the low back here. Good. As you exhale, lower on down. Now tuck the toes underneath. Press down through the hands. If you need to walk the hands forward in order to do so, lift the chest up. And as you feel ready, exhale, pressing on back for downward facing dog pose. So as we take downward facing dog pose again, it is often beneficial to create a slight bend in those knees. It's not required, but the bend in the knees actually helps us in order to feel the side hips drawing back towards the heels. Eventually, you may begin to press the thighs back towards the hamstrings, and maybe you may begin to lift the knees up towards the pelvis. Good. And then once again, you'll look forward in between the hands. You'll walk the feet forward to the front of the mat. Inhale, lengthening here. Exhale, folding. Inhale, taking the arms up towards the ceiling for Urdhva Hastasana pose. As you exhale, glide the hands down to the sides, Tadasana pose. Adding on again. Inhale, floating those arms up. Urdhva Hastasana, arms extended pose. As you exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthening halfway. Good. Take the hands down to the mat. Walk the feet back. Find your way into the top of a push-up again. Exhale, lower the knees down. This time, float the right leg up again. Spread through the fingers here. And begin to feel the weight even in the hands and as well as that left knee. So even though the right leg is lifted here, we're still evening out the weight between the 3 points of the contact that we have with the mat. So if you'd like to attempt this, begin to extend your left arm forward as your right leg is lifted. See if you could just be with your balance for a moment. Hug the belly in. Feel the palm pressing down of your right hand. Feel the knee pressing down of your left leg. And breathe here for a moment. Exhale, lower that hand and knee down. Good. Inhale, float the left leg up. So believe it or not, this is abdominal work that we're doing right now. you're first starting to find your balance. So you start to find your balance by seeing that your left palm is pressing down, seeing that your right palm is pressing down, and feeling your right knee pressing down. Then eventually you're going to begin to extend your right arm forward here. And to find balance here, hug the belly in. The belly is the key to this pose in order for us to balance ourselves here. And as you exhale, lower the right hand down, lower the left knee down. Once again, child's pose here, just to release the head down and close the eyes. So you can always come back to child's pose. It's a foundational pose. And one more time, inhale, peeling up the chest, tucking the toes underneath, pressing the heels back, pressing the knees back, pressing the thighs back, downward facing dog pose. Okay, so from downward facing dog pose, we teach the transitions for how we move into standing. So you can, and it's often recommended, float the right leg up one more time. So the right leg floats on up, and you're on that three-legged dog pose. From here, look in between the hands and take the right knee into the chest. Pause here. You need to now shift the weight forward into almost like a push-up. And then for most students, release the left knee down. If you want, you can step the right leg forward in between the hands here. Take the hands to either side of the right foot. Then press down through the right heel, press down through the left ball of the foot. Begin to float the left leg up. So the left thigh draws towards the ceiling now. Spin the left heel down so that the left heel is making contact with the floor, and walk the right toes to the center of the mat so that the right heel lines up with the left arch of the foot. Draw the right hip in, and as you inhale here, float both hands up towards the hips. Good. So now we're in the prep for Warrior 2. Straighten through the right leg. Okay. So take a quick glance at your right foot. See that your right foot, right knee, right hip are all in one line. As the foot stays in one line, draw the right hip in. So the right buttocks, it actually draws in towards the body. The left leg is turned in here. So the left leg is already turning slightly towards the right side of the room. Now, as you begin to bend into your right knee, can you lift your right toes up off the mat? This is kind of an interesting action. As we lift those toes up off the mat, we begin to create flexion within the inner and outer ankle. Then soften those toes down to the mat here. Good. From here, so the left hip's turned in, the right hip is drawing back. Inhale, draw the arms out to the sides. So feel the foundation of the feet. So start there. Then to stabilize the pose, feel the left leg drawing back, feel the right knee bending so the right calf is moving towards the right shin. Lastly, feel the elongation of the pose. So feel the legs drawing in opposite directions, feel the arms drawing in opposite directions. Crown of the head is directly over the pelvis. Take the hands to the hips, once again, straighten through that right leg. Turn your right foot in here. And then from here, inhale, float those arms up towards the ceiling. Urdhva Hastasana arms. As you exhale, hands come down through the center chest. Release the torso down toward the earth. See that the heels turn out slightly. Release the head on down and be here for a moment. So allow the weight to travel from the heels to the toes here and release that head on down. Now, keeping that, see if you can take both hands to the hips here. So you're still leaning forward and allow those kneecaps to lift. Good. Hug the outer elbows in, just like we did in Shalabhasana Cobra's pose earlier, and begin to feel the chest drawing forward. Press through the tops of the feet. Inhale, peel up the chest, and find your way to standing. Good. Okay, from here, spin your right foot, spin both feet over to the right, bend into that right knee again, take the arms out to the sides, windmill your hands down to the mat. So glide your left foot back, step your right leg back, and find your way back into a downward facing dog pose. So as we move through vinyasas, we shift into plank pose. You can lower the knees down. I often recommend it. You're going to lower the chest all the way down to the mat here. So walk the hands back so that the palms are directly underneath the elbows. Once again, feel the collarbones drawing back. Feel the trapezius muscles lengthening down the spine. Hug your belly in. From here, tuck the toes underneath And maybe begin to see if you can straighten those arms any amount more. That's it. Maybe if you do this, you can lift the knees up off the mat. As you exhale, press those thighs back, downward facing dog pose. So we always transition back through downward facing dog pose as our kind of intermediate posture, or posture that connects all of our poses together. Inhale, float the left leg up. So once again, we're in this three-legged dog variation. Press through the hands, draw the right outer hip back. Good. Breathe into the left leg. You're going to draw the left knee into the chest. Round the shoulders here, round the shoulders, round the shoulders, and step the left foot in between the hands. You can always lower down the right knee in order to step the left foot forward. See that the left foot's in the center of the mat. Plant the right toes down. Lift the right leg up and turn the right heel down to the mat as you walk the left toes over to the right side of the room. So you want to look at your left heel even before you lift up and see that your left heel lines up with your right arch of the foot. Inhale, windmill your hands out to the sides and bring your hands both to the hips. From here, straighten through the left leg. Notice that the left hip, left knee, and left shin are all in a single line here. Good. And from here, and keeping this, begin to turn your right hip in. Now bend deeply into that left knee. See that the left calf is moving towards the left shin. See that the left buttocks is releasing towards the left thigh. As you feel ready here, inhale, float the arms out to the sides. So start by noticing the feet. Feel the feet pressing down. Then notice the stability in the pose. Your right leg is drawing back. Your left leg is drawing forward. Lastly, notice the elongation. Both arms are extending here, torso is lengthening, and you're breathing. Good. As you exhale, bring both hands down to the mat, either side of that left foot. Step your left leg back to meet your right leg. Downward facing dog pose. Again, shift forward into plank, top of a push-up. Maybe we hold for a little longer here, because over time we build a little bit more strength. As you exhale, lower those knees down and lower the chest all the way down to the mat. So you're going to take your hands now and you're going to bring your palms to face the ceiling as you extend your arms in line with your body. As you continue to breathe here, you're going to begin to lift the chest up. So start by feeling the collarbones spreading across the chest. Allow the tops of the shoulder blades to draw down the spine. And you can even begin to feel the belly drawing in here as you lift up through the abdomen. There's an action. See if you can zip up from the pubis all the way through to the crown of the head. So there's like this feeling of everything is drawing in and hugging in and lifting up. Then from here, if you'd like, you can try to float the right leg up. So the right leg is just floating off the mat just a little bit. Exhale, lower that right foot down. Inhale, float the left leg up. Exhale, lower the left leg down. Release the head down on the mat and turn the head to face one direction. And close the eyes. Good. You'll take your hands back underneath your chest. Tuck the toes underneath. Press down through the fingers. Inhale, peel up the chest. Exhale, pressing back. Downward facing dog pose once again. So seeing that those thighs are pressing back, seeing that those hips are drawing back as well as you release the crown of the head all the way down towards the floor. From here, step the right foot in between the hands. So once again, if you need to lower the left knee down to do so, please feel free to do that. Left knee lowers down, right foot steps forward. Press down through the right ball of the foot. So even before you lift up at all, you can lift the right toes up off the floor. This is an important action. I haven't really discussed it that much in class lately, but when we lift the toes up, we create an arch within the foot. You actually are pressing down through the heel and the ball of the foot, even though the toes are lifting up. Now soften those toes on down to the mat. We'll see if we can come back to that. As you feel ready, tucking the left toes underneath, lifting the left leg up, and turning the left heel down to the side. Again, you need to walk the right foot over to the left. Right hip hugs in. Breathe here as you take both hands to the hips. Now straighten through the right leg again. See here that the right hip, right knee, and right shin are all in one line. So the right foot is parallel with the sides of the mat. Again, you're going to bend into that right knee. This time, if you can, lift the right toes off the mat. So that action, it's very subtle, but what that does is it activates your entire right leg here. The left hip is turned in, that's fine. The right hip is drawing back. Take the right forearm, place it over top of the right thigh. So even here, especially if you have those toes lifted, you may be able to bend that knee a little bit more deeply. That's it. And then from here, soften those toes down to the mat. Eventually, you need those toes to be soft. Good. Take your left hand, walk it down your back, and breathe here. This is called Parsvakonasana pose, or side angle pose. Take your left hand, draw it up towards the ceiling here. So first we start with our feet. Feel the feet pressing down. Then we move into our legs. Feel the left leg drawing back, the right thigh drawing in, and the left knee bending here. So the right leg is drawing forward. Then from here, glide the left hand down towards the floor. Glide the left hand all the way up and out through the ceiling. So this is our elongation of the pose. As you bend into that knee, feel the left heel pressing back, left thigh drawing back, and then feel the left arm extending over the head. Inhale, float that arm up, come back to Warrior Two pose and straighten through the right leg. Again, we turn the right foot in. One more time, we lean on forward, we fold forward, and this time we take our hands to our shins. Release your head down to the earth and just begin to feel the weight even in the feet. You can also lift the toes up slightly off the ground here. You do want to activate those arches and then soften those toes down to the mat. So the four corners of the foot are pressing down. The weight is traveling from the inner foot to the outer foot. So that actually allows for the inner legs to open up. Then you're shifting the weight forward so that the chest is moving forward, but the thighs are continuing to move back. So the backs of the legs are growing long here. Hands come to the hips, press to the feet, inhale, peel up the chest. Again, turn the right foot to center, bend into that right knee, and release those hands down. Ball of your left foot, step the right leg back, and we're back in downward facing dog. Even in a Vinyasa class, you can remain in downward facing dog. Some students will want to shift into plank if you'd like. Lower those knees down, lower the chest down. Inhale, peel up the chest and the heart here for Cobra pose. And as you exhale, press on back to meet everyone in downward facing dog pose. So again here as we take downward facing dog pose, release the head on down. Forearms lift, outer arms wrap, and you release the crown of the head all the way down to the floor. That's it. Now from here, we step the left foot in between the hands. So if you'd like, you can lower the right knee down to do so. No problem here. Step the left foot forward. Again, see if you can lift the toes of your left foot off of the mat as you press down through the ball of the foot and the arch. So you'll notice, or the ball of the foot and the heel. So you'll notice the left inner leg is lifting up. That's very important here. That's called the arch of the foot, and the arch of the foot helps us to create stability in our pose. So eventually you release those toes down, tuck the right toes underneath, press the right leg back. And then as you turn the right heel down, walk the left toes over a step or so that the left heel is in line with the right arch of the foot. Continue to draw the weight into the right outer foot here. So first align the feet, then stabilize through pressing through the feet as you bring the hands to the hips. So now, if you can, continue to lift up through the left toes. Keep bending into that left knee. Take the arms out to the sides, Warrior Two. So we feel that stability in the pose. Even though our feet are pressing down, we feel this lengthening happening through the elongation of the body. So the right outer foot's pressing down, the left outer foot's pressing down, buttocks flesh is releasing down, and the arms are extended. Now we take the left forearm, we place it on the left thigh, release those toes down for a moment. Good. Keep pressing through the right outer heel, keep drawing the right hip forward. Then as you bend deeply into the left knee, lift the left toes up off the mat. So those left toes lift off the mat to create flexion in that foot. Draw the left hip in and look up. Inhale, float the right arm up towards the ceiling here. So keep drawing the left buttocks in. Keep lifting through that right arm as you breathe here. Now glide the right hand back. Glide the right hand forward. Glide the right arm all the way up and over the head. Release those toes down if they're not already released down. Keep extending here. So even though you're bending into that left knee, you're drawing your left buttocks in. Even though you're lengthening through the right arm, you're pressing your right heel down. So feel the stability in those legs. Right thigh back, left thigh down and in, and lifting through that right arm. Inhale, right arm lifts up. Glide the right arm back so we come back into Warrior Two. Again, we bring our hands down to the mat. Step your left leg back so you find your way back into Downward Facing Dog and be here for a moment. So the feet are at least hips width distance apart. The head is releasing down towards the mat. And you feel the pressing through both the fingers and through the feet. So in this pose, it's called Downward Facing Dog, but believe it or not, the classical name of the pose is Mountain Pose. So even though this is, yes, it's a Downward Facing Dog, we see dogs do this pose sometimes, but really it's a mountain pose. So you feel the arms drawing forward, you feel the legs drawing back, and you feel the pelvis is the peak of the mountain. That's how it's got its name. It looks like a mountain. And then from here, as you release, come into plank, lower the knees down, lower the chest all the way down to the earth. Good. Now you'll take your hands one more time along the sides of the body. Turn the head the other way. I'll be here for a moment. All right, from here, you're going to begin to, once again, press down through the feet, press down through the hands. Inhale, begin to peel up the chest. So start by lifting through the shoulders, the collarbones here, and then you're going to let the crown of the head lengthen through the spine. So the crown of the head, it doesn't lift up and look up. It just lengthens forward here. That's it. The belly hugs in, and then you float the right leg up again. Good. And then, if you can, float the left leg up. Maybe the toes touch. Big toes touch. Pinky side of the foot begins to turn down towards the floor. So you create some space in between your low back. Then maybe the fingers lift up, and the palms begin to face one another. This is called Shambhasana. So even though we're balancing on our belly, we're still drawing the belly in so that we're strengthening through the belly and protecting our low back. As you exhale, lower the head down and release the head onto one side. All right, we're going to do it one more time. So as you feel ready, inhale here. Start by pressing the fingers down. Elbows begin to lift up. Chest begins to lift up. Crown of the head is lengthening here. Then you begin to float the left leg up, and then the right leg up, and then spin the pinky toe side of the foot down towards the mat. Lift the fingers up off the floor. Imagine you're holding a block in between your hands, and you're squeezing those hands together. Imagine you're holding a block in between the legs, and you're squeezing those legs together. Continue to feel the belly hugging in here for Shambhasana's pose. As you exhale, lower the head down the opposite way. Good. And once again, take the hands down to the mat. Tuck the toes underneath. Press down through the hands, press down through the knees. Find your way back into Downward Facing Dog pose. So Downward Facing Dog pose once again. Begin to float that right leg up. Right knee bends this time, right hip opens up. So you're just turning the right knee out to the right side of the room. Then you'll come back to center. You'll draw the right knee into the chest. If you need to lower the left knee down in order to do so, you'll step the right leg forward in between the hands. This time, walk the right toes out to the right side of the room. You're going to take your right hand, place it on your right thigh. You're going to take your left hand, place it on your right thigh, and lift the chest up. So this is called the lunge pose. Some of us have seen this before. This is called lunge pose. So as you press down through the right thigh, and actually the foundation of the pose, if you need a blanket under the left knee, please feel free to put a blanket underneath the left knee. You do want to feel like your knee is cushioned if you need some cushion. So from here, You're going to press down through the left foot. You're going to press down through the left calf. Good. Keep that action happening as the buttocks lengthens down towards the backs and the knees. And then you're going to begin to feel the chest lifting up. So as the chest lengthens up, maybe you'll begin to float the left arm up. So here, the right ball of the foot presses down. The right heel presses down, but the right toes are off the mat, just like we did a moment ago. As you continue to press the right thigh down this time, maybe float the right arm up towards the ceiling. So now, left leg is pressing down, left shin, left calf. Right foot is pressing down, right foot, right thigh. And then you're lengthening out through your chest. Exhale, lower those hands down to the mat. Walk the right foot out to the right. Walk the right foot out to the right. And then place the hands down right underneath the chest. So this is often referred to as the lizard's pose. Your foot is turned out. Your hands are on the floor or on blocks. So if your hands don't touch the floor easily, please place your hands on blocks here. And you're drawing the right knee back towards the side ribs. So even though the foot is turned out, even though your hands are on the floor, you're still drawing your knee back in towards your body here. Keep lengthening through the chest and the heart here as you breathe. And eventually here, you're going to walk the hands back. You're going to take your blocks once again. So have hold of your blocks. Hopefully you guys have your blocks here. And you're going to place your blocks on either side of the right leg. We're going to walk the right leg forward all the way this time. So the right leg walks forward all the way. So now you're on the heel of your right foot. You're even on the heel of your right foot here. As you press down through your hands, so you'll walk the hands back. As you press down through your hands, hands are right next to your shoulders. Hands are right along sides of the body. So the hands kind of are right next to the right thigh, right knee area. And then from here, lift the chest on up. So once again, left shin presses down, left calf presses down. Left side of the rib cage lifts up. Good. As you press down through the right heel, right shin presses down, right thigh presses down, right hip draws back, right chest also lifts up. So we feel both sides of the chest lifting up, even though our legs are both rooting down towards the earth. Okay, one more pose here. This is just kind of put icing on the cake. You're going to begin to walk the right toes out just a little bit. As you press down through the left hand, take your right hand to the right hip here. Now, begin to press down through the left shin. Begin to press down through the left calf. Begin to feel the belly twisting here as you turn the left shoulder towards the right foot. Inhale, maybe float your right arm up towards the ceiling. This is twisting Hanumanasana pose, or twisting seated split pose. And breathe here. As you exhale, lower that right hand down to the mat. So you could keep your hands on the blocks to rebend into your right knee. Then I'd place the blocks off to the sides. Take your hands down to the mat. Step both of your hands inside the right leg one more time. Lift the left leg up and step your right leg back to find your way back into downward facing dog pose here. Good. So once again, we're in downward facing dog pose. And we're breathing here. So you're seeing that the fingers are lengthening forward to the front of the mat. You're seeing that the heels are lengthening backwards to the back of the mat. Begin to feel the forearms drawing forward as the calves draw back. The shins draw back. Begin to feel the arms and the legs also lengthening in opposite directions here. And as we exhale, let's lower those knees down to the mat. We're going to take the left leg this time. So we can bring our hands down to blocks if you'd like. Step the left leg forward. So see that the left toes are flexed here. See that the chest is lifting up. So let's start here. Start with your right leg. So you could keep your hands on your blocks, or you could take your left hand to the left thigh and take your right hand to the left thigh as well. Press down through the right back of the foot. press the right calf down towards the shin and begin to feel the right side of the chest lifting up. That's important here. Float the right arm up towards the ceiling. Now maybe flex the left toes here. Maybe flex the left toes like we did earlier. Feel the left heel stamping down towards the mat. Feel the left shin drawing back. Feel the left thigh pressing on down. Good. Keeping that action, inhale, float the left arm up. So now we're in this Ardha Anjuliasana pose or half lunge pose. As you exhale here, release the hands down to the mat. Take your hands inside the foot. Walk the toes out to the left side. From here, you can glide down your hands. So if you want to place your hands on blocks, fine. That's totally fine here. You're going to draw the left knee back towards the body. Release the head on down and breathe here. So this is called lizard's pose. Sometimes we take it by extending our right leg fully. Other times we take it with a bent right leg. Just release the head down and breathe into the left outer hip. So feel the right leg stabilizing down onto the ground. Feel the left foot stabilizing down onto the floor. And feel both hips drawing in towards the midline of the body here. Inhale, lifting the chest, the heart, the sternum here. Bring the hands to either side of that left leg. Extend your left leg forward here. Okay. As you extend your left leg forward, press down through your left shin. Press down through, As you extend the left leg forward, press down through the back of your right foot. Press down through your right calf. Lift both sides of the chest, just like we did a moment ago. Then, as you press down through the left heel, feel the left shin drawing down, feel the left thigh drawing down, and feel both sides of the chest lifting here. Good. To add on to this, if you want, take your left hand, place it on your left hip. Press the right foot down. Press the right calf down. Inhale, float the left side of the chest up. Turn the right chest to the left foot. Inhale, maybe lift the left arm up. So this is twisting lunge pose, or twisting split pose. Now release that left hand down. Bend the left knee again. Good. Bring both hands inside of that left leg. And once again, as you place the blocks off to the side, step the left foot back. Okay. So from here, we did a lot of stuff on those knees. Let's just keep the hips lifted here and release the head down towards the earth. So what you can do is place a block underneath your head and just release down here. So this is just to kind of reverse some of the stuff we did because we were on our knees for a while. So in order for us to reverse that, we keep the hips lifted and we transfer some of the weight down into the forearms, into the crown of the head. And breathe. And eventually stay here, but just lengthen the right leg back. So stay here in this kind of pose where your head is on the block and your fingers are in our waist and you're releasing, but your right leg is extended. Good, and then bend the right knee one more time and do the same thing with the left leg. Just let that left leg extend. And then, once again, bring that knee back to a bent position. Lift your way on up. We're going to find our way onto our backs. So as you feel ready, taking your legs forward, finding your way onto your back, and breathing here. So, as many of you know, it's often good to do some core work, just even a little bit, in order for us to kind of find our way back into our body and our breath. So you could take your hands behind the back of your head here, and you're just going to start with some basic crunches. So inhale, lift the chest up. Exhale, lower the head down. Inhale, lift the chest up. Exhale, lower the head down. Inhale, lift the chest up. Exhale, lower the head down. Inhale, lift the chest up. Exhale, lower the head down. Good. So this time we're going to add on. You're going to inhale, lift the chest up. As you exhale, you're going to lift the feet off the ground. The knees are going to bend. You're going to lift the chest up even higher here. So you're rounding through the spine. And as you exhale, release the feet down, release the head on down. So we're going to do that again. Inhale, lift the chest up. Exhale, lift the knees up off the ground, or the feet off the ground. Inhale, lift the chest up even higher. And exhale, lower the feet down, lower the head down. 3 more times. Inhale, chest up. Exhale, drawing the knees in as you lift the feet up. Inhale, lifting the chest up again. Exhale, lowering the feet and the head down. 2 more. Inhale, lifting the chest up. Exhale, bringing the knees to a bent position. Lifting the chest up even higher. And then releasing the feet and head on down. 1 more time. Inhale, lifting the chest up. Exhale, drawing the knees in. Lifting the chest even higher. Releasing the feet and the head on down. Good. So from here, you'll extend the right leg all the way forward. Keep the left knee bent. Right leg is extended all the way forward. Keep the left knee bent. Good. From here, you're going to extend or lengthen the right leg up towards the ceiling here. Press to the left ball of the foot. Lift that right leg up. As you exhale, lower the buttocks down. Lower the right leg down towards the floor. We're going to do that 3 times, okay? Press down through the left foot. Inhale, draw the right leg up. Press down to the left foot again. Maybe lift the pelvis off the floor as you lift that right leg up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, lower that leg on down. 1 more time. So you press the left foot down. You inhale, draw the right leg up. You press down to the left foot. You lift the pelvis up off the floor. As you exhale, you release the right knee back to a bent position. We do it with the left leg. So start with the left leg extending. Then you draw the left foot up towards the ceiling. And you press to the right foot to lift the left hip off the floor, right hip off the floor. Then you exhale, lower the buttocks down, lower the leg down. 2 more times. So start by lifting the leg. When you get to about 45 degrees, then you lift up the pelvis. Then you lift up the leg even higher. Then you lower everything on down. 1 more time. So lift up the leg about 45 degrees. Inhale, lift up the pelvis. Lift up the leg even higher. Exhale, lower everything down. Take your knees into the chest here as you breathe. Now breathe into the back of the body here. You can roll the head over to the left. You can roll the head over to the right. Roll the head over to the left. Roll the head over to the right. Good. And then from here, you'll take the left knee into the chest. You'll bring the left leg over the right leg here. So cross the legs, and then you'll begin to draw both legs into the chest, or both knees into the chest. You don't have to grab hold of the shins. You can if you want to, but you're just holding on to the tops of the knees here. And breathing. Right leg is over the left, and you're breathing. This is a stretch that we take to actually open up the muscles of the low back. All right, let's come back to center here. Change. So let's take our knees, change them, and then bring our hands to the tops of the shins once again. And breathe here. And then you'll uncross the legs. You'll hug the knees back into the chest. You'll just begin to rock the legs from side to side. All right, release those feet on down. Take the feet, press the feet on down, lift the pelvis on up, lift the pelvis on up, lift the pelvis on up here. Good, so keep lifting the pelvis up and breathing here. Exhale, lower the pelvis on down. We're going to do that 2 more times. So as you press down to the feet, inhale, draw the pelvis up. Lift the pelvis up, lift the pelvis up. Exhale, draw the pelvis on down. 1 more time. So you press down to the feet, shins back, thighs down, pelvis up, chest up. Exhale, lower on down. Drift the knees over to the right side. And drift the knees over to the left side. Good, and come back to center. And extend your legs all the way into Shavasana. Release the arms out to the sides and breathe here. You'll see that the entire body relaxes. Walk your shoulders under. Oftentimes here the shoulders are lifted. If you can walk your shoulders under, that just lets for the chest to be more expansive. Lets for more air to move in and out of the chest. So eventually you'll point those toes forward and you'll extend those arms all the way up and over the head. Stretch out the entire body here. You can even interlace the fingers as you press the finger back. Bend the knees. Roll the body over onto your side and press your body on up. Find your way into a seated position. Take the hands to the center chest. As you exhale, release the chest. Namaste. Thank you guys so much. I hope you guys enjoyed the practice. Hope you guys enjoyed the pacing of the flow. This is a level 1 class, so we do this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6 a.m. Tuesday and Thursday I have a class at 6 a.m. as well, Hatha class. So it's similar, but a little different. So please feel free to tune in. We also have class throughout the day, so you guys can tune in throughout the day as well. As I usually do with closing the class, So thank you guys so much. I hope that you guys have a wonderful day. Gail and Aunt Dawn, thank you guys so much for practicing. I hope you guys enjoyed the class. Absolutely, Gail. Have a wonderful day. Hopefully, I'll get to see you soon. Aunt Dawn as well. Hopefully, that you have a wonderful day as well. And a couple ways you guys can help out: hitting the like sign on the page, hitting the heart sign. Either of those are really great ways to just continue to grow the community. Also, sharing the classes if you feel like sharing the classes. Very grateful for you guys who continue to come and show up. And yeah, definitely it's awesome. So if you guys have any requests for classes, just send me a message. Happy to take requests into consideration. And I wish all of you a wonderful day today. So be well, be happy, my friends. Namaste. Thank you guys. Thank you. See you guys soon. Bye, guys.